This is the graph of a parabola, right? In this one, I've got it, it's vertical. It's opening up. Okay, we're all familiar with the vertex of a parabola is the point where it changes direction. It's either a maximum or a minimum point, whether it's opening up or down, right? The vertex goes with the coordinates of HK. Okay, so again, if you go back to the parabola is the set of all points whose distances from a point and a line are constant. The point is called the focus, and that line is called the directrix. So you can see I've got this one point highlighted, and I'm showing how the distance from this point to that point is supposed to be equal from this point to that line. Now, my drawing may not be accurate, but that's what a parabola is. Every point on here is supposed to be the same distance from those two things. This distance equals this distance. D1 equals D2. Okay. Now, the distance from the vertex to the focus and the vertex to the directrix is given the letter P. It doesn't have a name as far as I know it. It's just that's P. And P is important. P is important because it's part of the standard form of the equation of a parabola. It actually should be standard forms. So this one here is, notice this is y to the first equals x squared. Y equals x squared is vertical. It either opens up or down. Right. This one is x to the first equals y squared. That's going to be the horizontal. It's either to the right or to the left. Okay, so let's see. In those equations, we recognize our variables of x and y. We recognize the vertex of h and k. And then we've got that p, right? P is right there. Again, we know what the P means. We look at the diagram. That's the distance from the focus, from the vertex to the focus and the vertex to the directrix. Okay. When we did this stuff in Algebra 2, they called these kinds of forms vertex forms because you could see what the vertex was. But in this book, it's called a standard form. Right? That first thing we did was called the general form of a second degree equation. These are called the standard forms of a parabola. Notice that both of these are in standard form when they're solved for the squared term, right? It's x minus h squared is the only thing on that side. And y minus k squared is the only thing on that side. Everything else goes on the other side. Now, most of our equations, they're not going to start out looking like that. What process are we going to do to make an x minus h squared or a y minus k squared? Complete the square, right? So anytime you see this kind of thing, it means somebody created a perfect square trinomial and then made that by completing the square.